Honestly, becoming a VTuber is so easy. Yet, all of these new VTubers I've been watching have been making so many mistakes, and I've been constantly seeing a ton of VTubers struggle, and I think I finally understand why. I'm a VTuber, and you'll regret this. Looking at all of these big mistakes, I've noticed 3 of them. 1, it's developing no personality. 2, the heavy focus on lore. And then 3, constantly redesigning and changing their character design. So if you're a new and upcoming VTuber and you're curious what these mistakes are, I'll go into details, explaining all of them. And if you've already kind of done some of these mistakes, then maybe this will help give you some clarity on why these are not good decisions to do throughout your VTubing journey. So why is everyone still struggling with it? Especially the character design. Well, that's because being a VTuber is more than just role-playing as an anime character. You're essentially creating your own unique persona, which is completely different than being just a regular faceless content creator. There are a lot of different levels to VTubing. You have character concepts and persona, branding, your actual content, and avatar creation. Now, I know that there are some people whose personas are themselves, but even if you didn't create a persona or your persona is you, then you still need to think about your character design, because if you don't, then why are you watching this video? Even though creating your character is the first step to becoming a VTuber, many people still struggle with this, and it's understandable. Creating your own original character is not easy. It's why for video games, movies, and TV shows, there's usually an entire team working together to develop these characters that will be memorable and hopefully popular with their audience. Now that I'm thinking about it, there's a lot of different parts that are being put together when trying to create a character. You have color palettes, mood boards, personality traits, lore, and overall design. So let me ask you this. What defines a character's personality? That's pretty difficult because it depends. Sometimes it's as simple as a catchphrase like in Naruto, or maybe how they respond and act to certain situations. It's not always easy to define someone's personality into a few simple traits because people can change all the time. But when making your character for VTubing, you can use certain personality traits that even popular character tropes use now today when creating your character as like a little guide. To name some examples, maybe your character is a tsundere that gets mad a lot but is actually really caring. What? Don't say it. Anyways, maybe you want your character to be shy and they get anxious easily, so maybe this makes them soft-spoken and they wear a lot of layers for their clothing with mute colors so they don't draw a lot of attention to them. You can really play around with personality traits, and I recommend thinking about a few different ones to combine rather than just using a couple of already defined traits, because it will make your character feel like there's actual depth. You ever watch an anime that feels exactly like every other anime because the characters have literally nothing special about them? Trust me, once you watch one isekai anime, you've seen them all, and that's because the characters have no real defining personality trait. So take some time to think about how you want your character to talk or how they feel about certain subjects, and maybe even how they would react if a certain situation happened. Your character's personality can be heavily affected by your lore if you have lore established. Again, if you're just using a virtual avatar as yourself, then your lore could just be your own personal backstory or something. There always seems to be something that so many aspiring VTubers spend the most time on, and I have no idea why. Even in your favorite TV shows, lore is only used to give background context to a character's personality and explain why they act a certain way. It's basically their backstory. I feel like lore can honestly be done last or even skipped when you're just starting out as a VTuber, because half the time most VTubers themselves end up changing their lore completely or forgetting about it. Basically, nobody cares about your lore. So stop spending months trying to perfect your lore. It isn't necessary, and it's totally fine to not have lore. If you want to create a backstory to explain why your character's personality changed or why they act a certain way, then go for it, but you really don't need to stress about it in the beginning stages of becoming a VTuber. You can always build up on your lore as you go about making more content. And another fun thing you can do is, if you're struggling with your lore, is to have your community help build it. There's been a few times where I wasn't sure where to go with building the Yumeverse, and I ended up reading some interesting conspiracy theories about my channel and liked it so much that I made a canon. And no, I'm not telling you which ones they are. Go watch my stuff and figure it out yourself. Even if you don't have your lore thought out, it won't affect your overall character design. However, if you do have an idea about your lore, then you can use it to make your character feel more relatable. And finally, the last mistake I see so many VTubers making all the time is constantly changing their design. And I'm not just talking about doing a new outfit update, I'm talking about making an entirely new concept or just rebranding all the time.
Bruh, chill.
It's gotten to the point where some of these VTubers who I first started following when I started VTubing back in 2020, I don't even recognize them anymore. And I literally had a whole collaboration with VTubers making a Christmas themed video for last year, and a few of them ended up doing a complete rebrand and had to tell me midway through editing the video that they're doing an entire rebrand, which made it really confusing because I totally forgot what their handles were, so I couldn't give them proper credit in the video, and it really sucked. But I understand that some people want to change their model design because they don't like it or they don't resonate with their model, and that's totally okay. However, I personally don't agree with people who get mad at their community when they change their entire model concept and don't receive positive feedback on it. Look, it's one thing when it's just a new outfit update, or maybe it's just not a popular costume, but if you end up completely changing your entire concept or rebranding with a new persona, then you should expect some backlash from your community, and rightfully so, because if they enjoyed your old model concept and your new model is way too different, then your audience has no obligation to resonate with your new model. You're basically going to be starting from scratch. However, there have been some instances when a rework is necessary and a complete change has a very positive effect on your community. So it really depends on what it is you're changing, how much it is you're changing, and how you go about presenting the change. Maybe something you end up changing is the style of your model. So you go from a PNG to a live 2D or a 3D model. It's still the same character, but just used in a different medium. That's something that I would consider to be a positive change, since you can still make a variety of content between the three, and it's still the same character. And if you want me to go over the differences between a PNG model, a live 2D model, or a 3D model, then let me know in the comment section down below. Here are some other video topics about VTubing that I've made for you to check out. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope this video has been helpful to you. Bye!